Hello, everybody. Welcome to MangaPod. I'm Erin.
I'm Dodger.
And I'm Moeka.
And we are a podcast in which we get together after we've read all or part of a manga and discuss it with friendship, love, and lots of spoilers.
Yay!
We are back this week. Second time this week. Holla. Discussing more Jujutsu Kaisen. Listen, it's a celebration.
It is. I'm proud of us.
We decided that we were going to check out more Jujutsu Kaisen. This week we are discussing both the prequel, which is Jujutsu Kaisen 0, as well as chapters 71 to 120. That is an increase in what we were going to read previously, because we realized that even though it was a lot more chapters, it was also a much better stopping point. Well, not necessarily a better stopping point, but a better thing to get to than what we were left at chapter 106. So if you have never joined us for a MangaPod before, what we like to do is give you a short spoiler-free description of the manga, as well as a spoiler-free recommendation from all of us, whether we think you should spend time going to read it or not. If you do not want to be spoiled for it, once we get to spoiler section, you can go ahead and take your leave, go read it, come back and watch this later. We got a lot to cover, so we're gonna kind of jump into it. I can go ahead and read the description. Everybody is ready. Okay. Wait, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Okay. Sorry. Anyway, the story of Jujutsu Kaisen is set in a world where cursed spirits feed on unsuspecting humans, and fragments of the legendary and feared demon Rinoma Sukuna have been lost and scattered about. Should any curse consume Sukuna's body parts, the power they gain could destroy the world as we know it. Fortunately, there exists a mysterious school of Jujutsu sorcerers who exist to protect the precarious existence of the living from the supernatural.
Wow!
Oh! Cool. Who would like to go first with spoiler-free recommendations?
I can go.
Do it.
Yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen's great. I love the characters. We just did this manga like on Monday, so it feels kind of redundant to say it all again. But in case you didn't see it on Monday, it's great. This section specifically, we have a bunch of warnings for like there's a lot of gore and body horror in this section. Like, it already existed in the manga, but it's a lot in this part. So keep that in mind, but I would definitely recommend it.
Yeah, I agree. It ramped with the violence and body horror, but my goodness, this arc, what an arc. It was, even though we read, 60 some chapters?
Yeah, and we haven't even finished the arc.
We're not even done.
Yeah.
And of what we read this arc, like, I think only 5 chapters of it are not this arc. And we're not even, like, there's a big thing still left. A few things left up in the air to finish. But in my opinion, I think this was probably the best that the manga has been. We got character development, we got amazing fights, we got just a shit ton of stuff going down, and the art I thought was really stellar this section. And so I highly recommend it if you're looking for a new shonen body horror kind of. There was some Hunter x Hunter-esque things that I thought storytelling-wise happened. So yeah, I recommend it. I thought this section was amazing.
If you love character-driven stuff, please read this. The characters are so well written. That some of them are so well planned that, like, after the fact, once you learn more about them through, like, the little extra, like, side pages for their about sections, it's I'm emotionally damaged. Like, oh god.
I put
I'll-
emotional
I'll
damage on the
probably-
warning list for you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll as a heads up for anybody still here, I'll probably be crying. Like, oh my god. So please check this out. Give Jujutsu Kaisen a shot, please.
Yes. So, there you go. We all recommend it. Before you go and read it, the warnings that we have are gore, body horror, violence, emotional damage, death, blood, and child death / child violence. So, if any of those you do not like, then this might be one that you can go ahead and switch, or just be aware that those are in there. Let's go ahead and jump to spoiler section. We would like you all to remember that to not post any spoilers past chapter 120. Yeah, we just really appreciate it when you guys do that. Thank y'all. Let's go ahead and switch it over to spoilers.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nanami is God and he's fine.
Nanami's
He's
God,
fine.
and I don't want to
And he's
fucking hear it.
And he's totally fine, and he didn't
totally
blow up,
fine.
actually. He's fine.
There is a way to reverse death in this series, and I believe it. There's been no
my
real precedent for
God.
death being reversed.
Sorry,
There's been
Moeka. I
precedent
figured
for
you might as well
healing,
just start
but
crying. You
no.
know? Like, just get it out of the way.
Yeah, you need to just kind of...
Dude. Oh my god, I fucking love him.
Me too. Me too. I'm sad,
my
but he's God,
God.
so he's fine.
Yeah. Dude, his death,
They did a lot in this arc to, like, he already was cool, but they did a lot in this arc to be like, Nanami's fucking cool, dude. And then to have the reading end that way, I was so upset.
And,
It was so fucking brutalizing.
the, fact that he was half on fire and still fucking, walking around killing shit.
Yeah.
And then, I was shocked. I was very surprised by his death, because you go into shonen manga and then arcs like this, and we've been taught that the main characters, especially the badasses, are always fine. They come out on top. These little henchmen, monster characters, in the end, always lose. But in this, there were so many strong curses, so strong. They weren't just brushed aside and easy to beat. So then, it's still, him dying was,
Yeah.
it was so shocking. It didn't feel cheap either so far. It hasn't felt that way. But it really surprised me. I was not expecting it.
I think something that mangaka has done a really good job of is trying to consistently remind you that Sukuna is awful. Has no remorse, will just murder things instantly. And, you sit there, if you've read a lot of shonen manga or battle manga and things, you sit around being like, man, I can't wait for, X demon that is inside of the protag to come out, because that's when shit gets real good. And this time, it finally happened, and I was like, yeah, let's go! And I instantly regretted it. I was instantly like, oh my god, he just murdered 2 children. He fucking, and then at the end, oh my god, I was like, go back in there, you piece of shit. I can't.
Yes.
Oh, I was so fucking mad.
Oh.
Yeah.
There was no, redemption.
No.
Because a lot of times when you have a demon inside of you, and this might be a Naruto precedent too.
I think this is a
At
Naruto problem. Yep,
Yeah.
I completely agree with you.
It's all right, the inner demon can be accepted with friendship, and then Sukuna comes out. There is no possible way for him to be redeemed or anything. He's horrible and has no conscience at all.
Yeah, because I think that is such a consistent theme, isn't it? Like, oh yeah, they have like something else going on with them, but like it will be tempered through the, the power of the human spirit, like sort of an idea almost. And there is no evidence of that happening whatsoever. Like, literally everything that he does that seems merciful, there is a really strong flavor packet of, I want this to help me out with something later. So it like adds to the intrigue, like the way that he treats certain characters, but none of it ever comes across as like, I'm gonna spare you just because I feel like it. Like there's always some sort of a motive for him to not just outright murder someone. Yeah, he's like such an interesting character, and I'm really glad that he's used so rarely,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We don't have him popping up all the time speaking to Itadori. Like, we know that he's there.
Yeah.
And when he comes out, and even when he comes out, he's like, I'm not taking over the body yet. Like, I've still got plans going on. And he's like there, but we're reminded that he's there and actively there and planning something just because we don't see him every chapter. When he does come up, we're like, oh, he's very much an influence on this story.
Yeah.
God, he did though have an interesting moment when Jogo, the one-eyed bald demon first, when he died and met up with the other two, because we had a few major curses be killed in this section.
Basically all the major curses we started with.
Aside
from
you're right.
Patchwork, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so they all 3 died here, and we had Sukuna appear to them before they passed on, and he was like, what did he say? It was something like, it's your time to rest, like you can move on, you've done good, or something like that.
Oh, it was something like, it felt like a bit more flippant, but also like kind of nice. Like, at least in the translation I read, it was like, this was fun though. Like, you should be proud of yourself. And he just started crying, and he was like, why am I crying? And Sukuna was like, I don't know.
He told them to stand up proud.
Yes.
And to like be proud of himself essentially.
Yeah.
And then he was just like, yeah, you fucking weird. I don't know what the fuck you're crying. Who the fuck cares? Go away.
Yeah.
So, gosh, him, and he wasn't even around very long. And he, like, fucked up the creepy dude, who's going around killing all the suits.
Yes.
He killed him, too. But then he also, heals Megumi.
Yes.
Because he's like, I have plans for you.
Yeah.
I'm
so the plans.
I'm so interested in what the fuck Sukuna wants to do, because I'm racking my brain and I'm like, there's so much missing here. I can't even theorize aside from like 1 or 2 things. And even then I can't fully invest myself in it because there's something missing.
The only theory that I have has to do with what Megumi was remembering Gojo telling him, which is that like the last time there was somebody in his family line that had the same abilities as him, the only person who could kill him and defeat him was somebody with the same abilities as Megumi, right?
Mm-hmm.
In which case, if Sukuna noticed that, he might be like, well, I want to destroy these families. Maybe if he cares about that. It's hard to tell. We don't know enough about like what Sukuna wants, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean that's what I'm so confused about, because I think he's been around longer than the big 3 clans. So I'm just like, why would you even remotely care about them? Because some of them I don't think they even were around when he was like at quote unquote in his prime or whatever.
Right.
So it's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also that we know, I don't know if we knew this before this section, but we now know that Megumi can like basically just summon fucking anything he wants. As long as it's with the intention of exercising it. So, which I was like, pardon?
Yeah. Because that's what that horrible curse that he brought in that was insane.
Yeah.
Is what Sukuna was like, well, guess I'm destroying all of this because I get to kill you. Like, that was like, all of a sudden another thing to fight. I was like, there's so much happening in this chapter, in this section.
Kind of reading off chat, I don't even think it has to deal with unsealing is the crazy part, because I feel like if he really wanted that, it would have already happened.
Yeah.
So there's something else brewing that he wants in order to make something happen. We just literally fucking don't know what, and it makes me mad.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I'm also remembering that he like did his domain and just murdered like who knows how many people, and then made our poor boy see it and remember everything that Sukuna did while in control of his body. I was like, this fucking kid. I just want to give him a hug so bad.
Yuji?
Yeah.
Yuji went from, I like this protagonist, he's so interesting compared to some of the other ones I've read about, and now I literally think of him as my fucking kid, and it's so painful. It's so painful.
He doesn't deserve this, dude.
No.
He doesn't.
And that's another reason that we've been like, it's like, oh, he's so pure. He's just determined. He loves people. He wants to rescue and save people. And then he has that demon inside of him. And it's like, well, the purity of the character, of the main boy with the demon, is what's going to change the demon's heart. And it's like, no.
I don't
the demon
think,
is literally going to torture. The demon is going to torture him.
Yeah.
And his like arc is instead him trying to keep the humanity that comes from himself.
Yeah, I think like oh, sorry, keep going.
Oh no, I was gonna bring up JJK Zero's protagonist, because that's one thing in this manga that I really enjoy, is that there's literally parallels everywhere you look.
Yeah, for sure.
And those two protagonists it's so interesting, because Rika is stated to be the queen of curses, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so interesting because it's through her love that Yuta like grows into a person and is okay with living and continuing. And it's so brutalizing to see the opposite happening to Yuji, which is he has the king of curses and he's just fucking brutalizing this poor kid emotionally, like everything. It's so painful. It's such an interesting like back and forth between the two, where it's like one is like grown through love and this other kid's basically thrown into hate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my poor boy.
God. He was kicking a lot of ass this section, though.
For sure.
Yeah.
But you guys are right that like this section especially, it really didn't pull punches in terms of like there were so many, even with like Megumi like near the end, like typically when main characters finish a big fight, you're like, great, they're good. And like in this section it was they finished a fight, but there's still a bunch of fucking curses around, and one of them immediately stabbed him. So now what?
Yeah.
You know, so it felt like even with Yuji, even with our like pro tag, it felt like there's just no letting up, you know, like everybody has to be on their toes even if they're exhausted.
Yeah. There was like such a pressure from the get-go. And as as we see Satora, like, not Satora, what? Oh my god.
Gojo?
Gojo, there we go. Wow. Because he kicks off the beginning. Like, the first section is very much him. And, him fighting. And we see the evil antagonist set up this whole thing of we're going to have all these civilians, humans, pushed to the very bottom of the train station and in there to make it hard for him to fight, which is a very standard thing to happen in battle manga, where you put civilians around the protagonist and are like, he or she will be so hindered they can't fight to their full potential. And also, not all of the the humans are going to be 100% fine. No one's going to die.
Right.
That was a toy on that trope that was broken almost immediately.
Yep.
Like, Satoru was watching all these people die, and he wasn't sitting there trying to go and save every single one. Like, he was letting sacrifices happen right and left.
Yeah. No hesitation. He said,
no hesitation.
Bye.
Yeah. And he, like, used his domain expansion, which they were just like, he's not going to do it because he's going to kill people. And then he's like, well, I got to do it. And just, like, fucking kill people. And then it also played with the trope of he gets sealed, and it's like, oh, well, the strongest is sealed. Now all the, like, not, like, necessarily weaker, but the, like, weaker characters have to be the ones to come and rescue him, and he does the whole, I believe in them. And so you're just expecting every other character to just kick total ass and come out totally fine and just greet him. And that's not what happens. People are like,
no, he's gonna come out and shit's gonna be really fucked.
Yeah.
He's gonna be like,
by the way,
happened?
The bad guys sealed him. They did what they said they were gonna do at the start of this manga. I was like, holy shit, they did it.
They did it.
Oh, it was. The way it all happened, though, is so fucking brutal, because man literally killed his best friend. Next thing he knows, literally his best friend's welcoming back. What's up, bitch? I lived. Yeah. No. Oh, it's so
heartbreaking.
It made me cry so badly, because there's that one panel where they, like, showed the surprise, and it's so horrifying, because it looks like Edo's crying on the inside, and it's just, oh my god, it's so fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, like, I don't know, there were so many things that happened in this section that really, like, went in a way I did not expect. The two kids that, like, loved Geto being like, get out of his body, fuck you. And then they found Yuji, right, and started feeding him fingers, and I was like, oh fuck. And then Sukuna's like, okay, you fed me a finger, so I'll give you a second of my time. And they were like, we want you to go kill Geto. And I was like, oh shit, nice. And then he just murdered them, and he was like, don't tell me what to fucking do, and did not do that. I was like, oh my god!
Yeah, oh my god. Oh.
He just went.
Fuck, dude. Yeah, I'm so curious if he does anything.
Yeah.
Later on, because I'm just like, that was brutal. That was unnecessary, sir. Please.
Yeah.
Well, something else was Sukuna coming out at that point. It makes it more interesting of what is Itadori gonna do now that he's facing Patchwork, because usually it's like he's gonna dip into that demon power and bring it out as he fights against this rival evil guy. But we literally just saw Sukuna come out and do all this shit.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, how does that fight end?
I keep wondering if there's going to eventually be a more obvious midpoint version, which is another Naruto trope, and I acknowledge that. But like, because currently we have like either Sukuna's in control or Yuji's in control, right? And Yuji is still like learning how to be a jujutsu sorcerer and how to like refine his techniques and become stronger. And I feel like eventually he's going to be able to tap into that power. And there's probably going to be like, I don't know, there might be some sort of a section of him like figuring out how much of this power can I use without like being influenced by where the power is coming from, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if that's going to be a future thing. 'Cause yeah, I'm in the same boat where I'm like, well, we know that he's not strong enough to do a lot of things on his own, right? As much as we love him and think he has lots of potential, can he go up against these things when like his senpais who are crazy powerful are getting blown up? I don't know. I don't think so, right? So what's he gonna do if he's backed into a corner, you know?
Yeah.
Well, and I think part of, like, the answer to that literally lies in the Black Flash technique that was taught to him.
Yeah,
and
for
so,
sure.
And I'm so curious because there was the whole Nanami's, like, the record holder of, like, consecutive actual hits on the Black Flash technique. And that, I mean, Yuji kind of has broken that, so I'm so curious because I don't remember what part it was, because I think it was like very early on where they talked about like the immense step up that you have on other sorcerers through like using the Black Flash at least once is like monumental. There's some sort of, like, enlightenment in you where you're like, this is, like, cursed energy and how to use it. And so I'm just, it's too much. Let's go.
Yeah.
Scared. Like, I just wasn't expecting, like, so many characters just be set on fire or have their face smashed in so badly that the mangaka's like, I'm not gonna show this. To make it be like, all right, well, what's left of this? And then if Itadori beats Patchwork, there's still the issue of Gojo is sealed. Like, who's gonna be taking that bad guy on?
Right.
Too, because so many of the leaders of the level 1 sorcerers have just been wiped out from these what we considered like the lower henchman-esque demons, not the ultimate baddies.
Yeah.
Then
Sorry.
No, you go.
I was going to say, like, I do think we're also going to see the topic delved into more about what the soul is, because that keeps being brought up. And we had the point where Geto, like, went to choke himself, right? And there was the conversation like, oh, maybe the soul is connected with the body, right? And then we had Megumi's dad sort of also exploring that idea when he came back.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering, since the characters who are the most invested in that idea are still around and kicking and, like, basically the baddies that are left, I'm wondering if that's going to be, like, a big element to how this arc wraps up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god, that is such a good, like, question of, like, which came first, and I have my crazy theory.
Yes.
Do you want to say it, or do you want to keep it to yourself?
I don't.
Yeah.
No, I think I'll say it. I and it's such an interesting one because it aligns more with like ghetto or fake ghetto, whatever.
Yeah, we know who
Where
he is.
Yeah.
where I get the feeling that the answer is literally the brain, which is like weird because it's like technically not a body part or like it's not your body per se, but
Yeah.
it's like it's not like because when you think of the soul, you think of like I don't know how to describe it. It's like this like essence when most people think of it that way. So it is like a very interesting like, well, what if the brain is like the soul in this world, and that's why you kind of retain memories? Question mark.
But with
Oh.
Ghetto specifically, he swapped out the brain, right? But the
Well,
body is still
that's
responding as Ghetto.
well, and that's what I'm curious about, and I don't know if they'll go further into it. I don't know what the fuck this guy did. So I don't know if it was actual brain switch or if it is like a weird curse technique.
Like taking over
Yeah.
the brain.
Yeah, which aligns with the like with that whole like what came first because depending on which one came first, like a weaker soul can be overtaken.
The soul or the brain?
Yeah.
Which came first?
So I don't. Yeah, it's a very interesting like question for sure.
Yeah.
Man, I want to finish this section.
I know.
God, I wish we had more time.
I know. We should probably jump into talking about the prequel a little bit more.
We have sorry to everybody watching. We have a heart out today because of me. So, yeah.
No, just okay.
Yeah. So let's talk about prequel 0.0, which, by the way, if y'all are interested in going to check it out, it is available for free on Viz Media.
Until tomorrow?
Until tomorrow. So if you're interested, you should go and look on Viz Media. It's 4 chapters. They're really quick, so you should go and check it out if you are looking forward or interested in reading that. So
yeah, they'll be listed literally like just scroll all the way down past chapter 1 because they're technically
it's at the
written
very
down
start.
as point 1. Yeah, they're written by points.
So my first thing was, even though at the very beginning of the prequel, it shows a picture of Itadori and Voice Dude, and then a picture of Megumi and Okutsu, I still was like, what is Itadori doing in here, and why does he have this other power? So there was a big section where I was like, what an odd, like, alternate universe we're in. And then I was like, oh, god damn it.
Yeah, literally, Gege said they are not the same character.
I know. I also got tripped up by that, though. But yeah, there were, like, all of these arrows, like, not the same person. And I was like, man, it's crazy. Why are they in this?
Yeah, which, if you're going in blind to Zero came first. It is basically the prototype for Jujutsu Kaisen.
You can tell from the art style.
Yeah.
It was so well received that everybody was like, please make a series. And he was like, oh, okay, here's JJK, enjoy.
Yeah. Which is really cool.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see like how much he's grown, because I was just like, man, those changes you made, thank God you did them, because holy shit, this character, I'd be so confused.
Yeah. Because we had Maki and Panda in this section too.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was interesting, like who we had, where I was like, oh, that is the same person.
Yeah. So what were your guys' thoughts on just the entire thing, since it's real quick? Because we started out with some pretty harsh curse stuff happening, and then it turned into love.
It was a love story. I thought it was beautiful. I think Yuta as a protagonist, I feel like the majority of people vastly prefer Yuta because he's such a fucking cool character, which I think is hilarious because if you learn about the mangaka Gege, one of the people that he looks up to is Ano, the creator of Evangelion, and Yuta is literally Shinji, but he fixed him. And amazing protagonist. That's all I could say. So amazing. Such a good boy.
I really liked him. Yeah, he was a sweet boy. Do you think people prefer him to Itadori?
From some of the friends that I've read, or not read, that I've talked to about it, yes, they're like, why isn't this guy the main character? And, it's because he's too good. Like,
yeah.
Like, it's, like, so interesting because, like, Itadori's whole thing is that it is a coming-of-age story at the end. And with Yuta, a lot of things get resolved in Volume 0 alone. So
yeah.
it kind of, like, I would say if, like, everything was just about him, it would diminish a lot of the story. So I could see why he decided to go with Itadori instead as a character protagonist.
Yeah. Did Yuta at the end lost the curse, right? So technically lost his power?
So yeah, so that a lot of people get confused because Rika, he basically cursed Rika and became the curse. So she never got to pass on, and so at the end he exorcises her, but that doesn't mean that the curse itself left. It decided to stay basically with him, which is why when she gets introduced, it's just Rika. You never hear the last name because that part of her, like, has passed on.
Okay.
It is very confusing. But yeah, that's why he still maintains the cursed version.
Okay. Got it. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Do we think that Yuta's gonna show up in the sequel?
Absolutely.
Dude, what if he comes in this fight? Comes in this
well,
Shibuya
yeah,
arc.
and that's what I'm curious about because through the beginning of the manga, you always hear about this second year Yuta. You're like, oh yeah, Yuta, and then it's just like, whoa, why are you bringing him up here? What is going on? So I can't imagine that he got mentioned all those times for him not to pop up again.
Exactly, 100%. Ugh. It was a fun little prequel to have. I'm glad that we included it.
Yeah, me too. It was like fun to see, like the politics of what was happening in that time.
Mm-hmm.
Because it really opens up your eyes to, like, Gojo has so much power that he literally has the power to protect all these beings that are, like, world-breaking, but because he backs them, literally nobody in the Jujutsu world could do anything because they're that terrified of him.
Yeah. So good. Should we talk about... Is there anything else we should talk about with our section of reading? Or, like, we could talk about the art. Oh, we didn't talk about Mei.
We didn't talk about Mei.
Mei and Yui. Dude, sister complex.
I was just gonna be like,
weird.
it had to be a fucking sister complex,
why?
wouldn't it?
Why
couldn't he just be like a cute, supportive little brother? Why did he have to be so weird?
I would die for you, full body shiver, ooh goo goo goo.
It's so weird because it's like everything that Gege does is so intentional, and that felt so out of place that I'm like, this has to come up again later on because as is, it literally doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And I feel like
I agree.
usually
it did feel weird.
and I'm like, usually, like, fan service wise, I've never felt this weirded out by anything that got brought up. It's always so minimal, so the fact that it was so upfront and in your face, it has to have some sort of meaning.
Yes.
Yeah, because, like, at first I was like, well, maybe because literally nobody else is like this, even tangentially, like, maybe it was done with intention to show that their family's just weird. Like, they're all just really strange people.
Really
but
weird.
But I feel like if that was the case, it would have been characterized better instead of feeling like kind of a throwaway joke. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it felt like. It was just like, oh, haha, here's a trope. Fan servicey, throw it in there.
You're
It's like,
welcome.
why? It just doesn't, of all the ones.
Yeah.
Mei was cool, though.
Yeah,
pretty badass.
look, she's strong.
I don't get her hairstyle, but I like her ability.
Bro, what is that about?
Why? Just why?
I think it has to do with they mentioned it in one of like the side off chapters or like pages where it's like Jujutsu sorcerers hide their eyes intentionally because certain curses are very very prone to noticing if you notice them, and they'll go batshit crazy. So a lot of them cover their eyes, and I think that's just instead of sunglasses, she just uses her hair.
God, what a fucking obnoxious option.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't imagine running through my life and having a giant braid slap me in the chin every 5 seconds.
Oh my god!
I would dig a hole. Like, I can't.
It's like, alright, you want her to look cooler instead of just like someone else with sunglasses? It's not necessary. We can do more sunglasses. Put the braid behind her. It's okay.
She said it is necessary, ma'am.
She said no. This is fashion.
Oh, and
okay.
I'm so curious what she wants from Gojo.
Yeah,
Because
same.
her whole thing is that she's a money-oriented bitch, girl boss, gaslighter, and she said, I will take your money, but that is not what I want out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, what could she possibly want? Holy crap.
Yes.
Eyes emoji. Mei, what you want?
What's a what, meme? So should we talk about art?
Sure. I don't know what
Not a whole lot to add. From
more there
last
is
time.
to add. Yeah, I do feel like even with like the ramp in goriness and stuff, it still felt like the same manga, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
I think that there could have been a vibe where it was like, oof, I did not realize I was reading Berserk, but it still it felt like it all was cohesive still. It just felt like a big ramp in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of these portions were just a lot of fighting, and I usually get lost in the, like, when there's so much action being conveyed in manga, but I felt like I was able to follow it pretty closely. Like, in my brain, I could just picture it moving already. So, it was clean. It was very well done.
Yeah, I actually had a critique last time about the fight that was taking place in the woods where I thought some of it just, I could not follow what was happening. That was completely rectified in this section. 100%. I could follow along everything that was going on. The action felt alive and vibrant, and I thought it was just really well done and conveyed exactly what the mangaka was hoping for. And I also last time complimented that the mangaka is not afraid to go insane on the monster designs. And it made me so happy. And that continued in this section, not just with the really detailed, like, grasshopper demon or curse or things like that, but also the, like, mutated humans. I was like, I got such Uzumaki vibes from that. Just the way that they were designed and how they nom-nommed on people. Or maybe more Apocalypse Otori Day. I got a lot of vibes from that. So just certain, like, horror manga as well.
Yeah, this was a section where I was just like, oh, this is, like, horror intentional. Like, it's done intentionally. Because, like, even Ghetto's whole thing, especially, like, you saw it in Zero, where he has a curse literally, like, called Uzumaki. And it's, it's so fun to see all these other, like, anime or manga tropes done in this.
Mm-hmm. It was cool.
Yeah.
I really liked this section.
Me
visually.
too. I really
Oh my god, yeah.
want to read more of it.
Me too. So good.
I did want to bring it back to Nanami real quick. I do think it's really interesting how he went into the whole, like, reverie of, like, I want to move to Malaysia, I want to build a house, I want to read all the books that I've bought and haven't read. And seeing Haibara, oh my god, it broke me.
Yeah.
The fact that he said, why did I do all this? And he literally points to Yuji is, oh my god. And the fact that he cared so much about Yuji in the end that he didn't want to curse him. And the words he said, I don't even think, I'm pretty certain that those are the words that Haibara told him before he ran away from the Jujutsu world.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't necessarily think those were the words that he wanted to quote unquote curse Yuji with. I literally think that he wanted to tell him to run away.
Yeah.
But didn't want, in my brain, I'm like, I think he knew that would burden Yuji so badly because, like, he would literally be forsaking all these people that he promised that he would help, and it's just so heartbreaking.
Yes.
And instead he gave him another curse, which is, please keep going, it's your turn.
Yeah.
I believe in
Yes!
you. And oh my god.
Ugh.
Fuck, dude. And the fact he went out with a bang and a smile.
Yeah.
Oh.
Of course.
It really like brought, I don't remember what chapter early on it was where they talked about when Jujutsu sorcerers die, they pass on without regret, and that was like just an amazing way of showing it, because it's like Nanami, you never see him smile, and when he does, it's like things that have truly made him happy, and the fact that he smiled so big at the end, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Yes. I wish I want to keep.
I know.
He's not dead. He's not dead. That's
Yeah.
all I have to say.
I don't
He's
know
not
about that,
dead.
but fuck.
Okay. Sorry, guys. I think we gotta wrap up.
Yeah, no, you're totally fine. Let's do super fast vibe check. Super fast vibe check. Does it pass your vibes?
Oh, this section was vibe 10.
Yep.
I'll do both. A vibe 10. Yeah, I thought this section was fantastic. I want to read more so bad.
Yeah, vibe 10 out of 10. Loved it. Was incredibly connected and engaged by this section of reading and Jujutsu Kaisen overall.
Vibe 10. I have a 2-week migraine now because I've tried every single fucking day. So it's amazing.
Oh, poor Moeka.
Please check it out.
Yeah, check it out. We're gonna do reading for next week. You guys get to guess what it is, and we're gonna do what's it called? Speed round. Let's do speed round. Hit it, Dodger.
Speed round. Okay. Witness what the blanks do after dark. The friendships, the lies, the gossips, the wild parties, and of course, forbidden love. It turns out the blanks aren't so different from us after all, especially when it comes to their problems. Stylish and immersive, one of mythology's greatest stories, the blanking of blank, as it's never been told before.
All right. 10 seconds.
Quick,
We have read this before.
Yes.
This will be our second time reading it?
Yep, second. And it is not a manga.
Yeah.
It's a webtoon.
Yeah, Avi got it. Lore Olympus.
Whee! Lore Olympus! Yes, we are going to be reading chapters 51 through 100 next week. We love this series. It's so pretty. You should definitely check it out. It's gorgeous. Let's go around and shout out our stuff super duper fast. If you want more MangaPod, we have a website, mangapod.card.co. That's 2 R's. You can find links to all of the MangaPod things over there. I'm Erin, a Happily Erin. I have a YouTube channel where MangaPods are located, and I also have a Twitter and an Instagram that are both Happily Erin. I wrote a book if you want to go check that out. I recently tweeted about it. Thank you.
Yay! Hi guys, I'm Dodger. You can find me at DexBonus on pretty much everything. I drink coffee, I play games, I talk about D&D. Come hang out. It's a chill time.
Hello, I'm Moeka. I'll be playing Rune Factory 5 here soon. So if you want to hang out and vibe, hear me cry potentially, but none of me. Check me out at Mega Moeka. Thanks.
Great.
Love it. Cool. Thank you all so much for hanging out. This was so fun discussing. We will be here next week talking Lore Olympus chapters 51 through 100.
Yay!
Thank you all.
Bye,
Bye, guys.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.